Hey everybody. So happy Sunday. I hope you're having a good morning. I certainly am. I am drinking a delicious cup of Dunkin' Donuts apple pie flavored coffee, and it's delicious. It's my first time trying it. I picked it up the other day, and I really like it. So yeah, starting my morning off good. So what I'm going to do is for my curriculum updates, I'm going to do subject by subject. So this video will just be spelling. And that way I can kind of really get into what it is that we're doing and not feel rushed, because my phone only allows me to videotape like 10 minutes at a time. So yeah, so we're going to start with spelling. So last year for spelling we did spectrum, and that was for my brother. He did spectrum, oh gosh, probably 4th and 5th. We don't like start a new curriculum at the beginning of the year because we use school all year anyway. So it's just whenever he's done with something, doesn't matter. It could be during the summer, it could be during, you know, the regular school year. That's just, we start a new one whenever he's done. Sorry. So I can't remember when he switched over from the 4th to the 5th grade spelling, but we did spectrum, and he's like 2 or 3 weeks away from his new spelling curriculum, which will be the last one because spelling levels only go up to 6 usually. So instead of spectrum, I'm actually going to switch him to BJU, and I already picked it up. Actually, I ordered it from Amazon, but it's spelling grade 6. And I've been looking at BJU for a while, and so I'd planned to switch them over to some BJU stuff last year anyway, and I just hadn't gotten around to it. My nephew, Kaya, had BJU reading, and he's actually finishing that up this week. And he's got, so his new reading book hasn't come in yet, but when that comes in, I'll do the review for that. But basically, what made me switch is because I do like spectrum, and I do think for anyone who is just starting out homeschooling and they're not sure what to get, for me, I wasn't sure, like, okay, he's in 5th grade, so what does that mean? Like, what am I supposed to teach him in 5th grade, or what is, you know, is he behind? If so, then what's generally taught in the 4th grade? What's generally taught in whatever grade? I wasn't sure. And I was in the bookstore and I saw the spectrum books, and they had one for every subject. So I just picked up one for every subject, and I think that was probably the best thing to do, just because I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't sure what to cover, and I think for a lot of parents who are just starting out homeschooling, that is a big worry. Like, am I covering the right things? Am I covering enough or whatever? And I think Spectrum really serves as a good, or any workbook series that you like. There are other ones out there. There's Kumin. There's, you know, I think a workbook series can be a good starting off point, and then, you know, go from there, you know, once you see what your kids, what their learning styles are, what they do better with or worse with, and you kind of have a good understanding of what it is that they need to be learning at this stage and the next, and so on, then, you know, you can switch up. But it's just kind of a good safe bet. You know, you can use it as a primary, you know, thing and just supplement when you need to, or, you know, just as a spine. So I found that to be a lifesaver. So I am moving him off the spectrum now, and we're doing BJU. And the reason I switched was because I did want a Christian curriculum, because I wanted the Bible integrated into what they're, you know, what's in the lessons, and I wanted more of a challenge. My brother, he falls on the autism spectrum. He has PDNOS, which is pervasive developmental disorder not otherwise specified. So basically just means you're on the autism spectrum somewhere, but it's kind of like a catch-all type of thing. So basically he's just slower at things. But spelling, he's quite good at. He memorizes spelling lists like super easy, and so Spectrum actually wasn't enough of a challenge for him. And I found BJU seem to be a bit more challenging, and I feel like he would actually have to work at this instead of, you know, just, he's not really trying now. He's getting ready to finish up Spectrum 5th grade, and I can already see, like, he's not taking his spelling list seriously because he usually already knows the words and that type of thing. But the BJU one is more challenging. It does have the biblical mixed into it, and this is something he would actually have to study and actually have to work at. So that's good. And I like that they have the Latin and the Greek is pretty predominant in it when we're talking about the words and the meaning of the words, and so they talk a lot about the Latin and the Greek roots. And I think the activities are, I think they'll be a challenge for him, and so those are the reasons why I chose BJU. And it was relatively inexpensive on Amazon. It was kind of hard to find the 6th grade one for some reason, but I found it, and I think buying it on the website is kind of expensive to me, but I found it for relatively cheap on Amazon. I got a really good, like, this is a pretty good copy. There's nothing, it's not written in or anything. So, yeah. So that's what Tay is doing, and that will be his last spelling curriculum, and after that I'm just going to replace it with Spanish. And he's already kind of started it, but we haven't really doubled down, like really taken Spanish seriously, and that's because if he had, you know, so many other subjects, so I just, you know, I let him do Spanish as he wanted, and he likes it, but it's not something that we're like diving into as a for real like subject yet. And once he's done with spelling, then that's what we'll probably do. For Kaya, that's my nephew. He is doing all about spelling. And I don't know how much, I'm just checking the time, I don't know how much I've talked about Kaya's spelling and our difficulties with that last year, but spelling and him are not friends at all. And it was just a frustrating challenge. He's frustrated, I'm frustrated. And I don't know exactly who taught him to read, who taught him to spell, but it was all over the place. He knows words, like he can see them, and he'll sometimes, but he's doing a lot of guessing at the same time. So his problem's kind of twofold. So he will read, and he reads very fluently, like it just rolls off real smooth, but it's not always what's actually on the page because he doesn't sound things out. He like just looks at it. So he'll read like this paragraph and it sounds beautiful, and then I look at the paragraph and that's not what was on the page. He thinks he read it, but that's not really, he didn't really read it. And so he basically, like if he's reading a book, he kind of gets the gist of what's going on, but he doesn't actually come away with what actually was in the book. And, you know, that bleeds over into his spelling. I think his spelling is a big part of it, where he will, when he's writing or he's trying to spell, in like the predominant sounds that he hears, that's what he writes down. So if it was like, I'm looking at spelling, he would put S-L-N-G, spelling. And because those are the only sounds he's thinking about when he hears it. You can hear an S, there's an L, ooh, G, so he'll put a G. And so, like, it's hard to read anything that he writes because it's just completely illegible, and he has no idea. Like, to him, he wrote something. And it's crazy, and I tried to get him to sound out things, and it was like pulling teeth. So we've actually been working, I'm going to have to make this 2 parts, dang. Sorry. But we actually have been working since February, and then we worked through the summer, and we started all about spelling this year. And after we've gone through all that, we're finally starting to see some results. And I think all about spelling really tipped the scale, and I think that's been probably the biggest help for him. I'm going to dang it, I'm going to stop and come back. Sorry, I really wanted this to be only one video, but I'm going to stop right here, and I'll come back with part 2. Bye.